Greetings and salutations to all of you lovely, fluffy, non-fluffy, equally lovely, beautiful listeners out there. This has been a week, and let me tell you about this week. But before we do, I have a couple things that I think you'll love to hear, other than me whining. But first of all, how you doing? How's everybody getting along this week? How is your autumn season for some of you who are experiencing fall at the moment? I hope it's lovely. I hope you're enjoying this time and the cooler weather, the leaves changing, the pretty skies. The other night I saw a full freaking moon, and it was like fullest of the full. Like you could see all the textures, and they had like this aura around it. It was so pretty, and my gosh, oops, Discord. Oh my gosh, Discord, shut up. Sorry, give me a second. I'm gonna turn that off. Um, Sorry. Anyway, I saw the fullest moon, and it was so beautiful, and I could not take my eyes off it, even though I was driving. So, but no, be safe if you're gonna, watch the moon while you drive. Please keep your eyes on the road. But it was one of those like clear sky moments of just, ooh, this is so pretty, and I want to just stare at this forever. But thankfully, when I got home, I got to look at it, for a little bit longer, and it was honestly a nice, gentle reminder of, kind of what we're made of and how wonderfully and fearfully we're made, and like it's as cheesy and like weird as this sounds. It just got me thinking sort of those thoughts of we're not alone and we are being watched over, and it just it's moments like that where we can just look at a moon, something as simple as the moon to our solar system, to our planet, and feel a sense of belonging, a sense of grace, and even though it would be a sense of smallness, it's a sense of humility. That's kind of what I got from that, as deep as that goes. But yeah, I'm just super grateful. Like I'm just feeling grateful lately, and I'm feeling very loving lately, and that's kind of hard to explain. I don't know why. I think it's just the fact that I'm really trying my best to. This is a nice little segue. I'm really trying my best to appreciate more of what I have in life and not trying to rush things that I don't have. Um, and that kind of gives me hope. Like I've always been sort of a rusher around person. I've always been someone who likes to get things done and then moves on to the next thing. And what's the next accomplishment? What's the next chore? What's the next challenge? And lately I've just been feeling like, dude, you have a job, you have friends, you have a place to live, you have a bed to sleep in every day, you have food to eat, you have an audience that wants to hear from you. And all that to say you have a lot to be grateful for. There are so many things that you have that many people don't have or would do anything to get in their life. And I'm just thinking, yeah, as simple and as cliche as that sounds, it is true. Like, I feel like I haven't really been appreciating what I have lately. And I'm being honest here, everybody. I'm just saying, like, I feel because of that, I feel kind of ashamed. Not guilt necessarily, but I feel kind of ashamed at myself for coming that way and approaching it that way, and realizing that there's a lot more here than you realize. There's a lot more here than you know, and that you seem to take for granted. So I can hear my dad in my head, knock it off, right? So, um, yeah, we've been, by we, I mean my therapist and I have been going through a lot of the processing of cognitive dissonance and stuff. And cognitive dissonance being, once again, sort of the emotional tailspins that you put yourself when it comes to depression and anxiety over a decision or indecision of things in your life that are more or less major issues, and how you can put yourself in a cyclical mindset of just thinking over and over and over what could be and what isn't, and what is and what should be, and it stacks upon stacks upon stacks of thoughts that you don't need to have. Why are you putting yourself through this mental torment, as it were? And that is classic cognitive dissonance. And I've talked about this before, but just a little reminder. Real quick, the other thing that I've been kind of discovering is not only boundaries, but having my boundaries be tested, right? So one of the things that happened, one of the things I don't say happened, but has been happening lately is I've been getting my boundaries tested a lot, and mostly by other people. And I've noticed that like there's a sense of yes and no that's been going on in my mind, and that is to say, like, I need to start standing up. Like, my brain is finally telling me it's time to start laying down the law. It's finally time to start laying down decisions and giving, not ultimatums necessarily, but giving out your, like, what you're willing to put up with, like setting your standards is the way I think I would say it. And as we've been talking about, my therapist and I have been talking about, setting your standards is good for life, because then, and your standards change a lot over the years, but as you sit right now where you are in a season of life, you can realize what your standards are, where your boundaries are, and what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to walk away from. And I've been getting taps on my shoulder lately all over the place, like from left side, right side, from the center, from the front, you know, people and things and situations just poking at me, just like, decide, make a decision. What are you going to do about this? How's this going to go? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to think about all this, but it's important to take each of those step by step, like tackle one thing at a time. And so not to get overwhelmed, work on the priorities first, and then do what you have to do to resolve them. And if they don't resolve right away, they will eventually, right? So a lot of times that can be something as simple as, well, probably shouldn't be spending time with a person anymore in my life because they're not a very good influence on me, or maybe they're leading me down a path of destruction, or maybe they're just unhealthy for my mental state. So some of them, keeping them at arm's length, and others like just cutting contact or limiting contact, right? You can do it in different phases, right? So that's kind of what I've been getting at. And before any of you listening to this wonder, oh my gosh, is it me? It's not you. Okay, trust me, it is not you. We're talking like some furry relationships, some furry fandom relationships, and others in real life, right? Believe it or not, I have friends outside of the furry fandom. Go figure, right? So yeah, that's just kind of what I've been getting at in my brain lately, is kind of get together, like, what am I willing to say yes to, and what am I willing to say no to? And it's been quite a journey, and I don't think I've ever felt this definitive or this decisive in a long time, because I've been a people pleaser for as long as I can remember. I've always wanted to please others. I've always wanted to do well. I've always wanted to, in a sense, prove myself to others. And, my therapist said, you can do that. You unfortunately can't do that with your family. Like, you can't choose your family in that way, but you can choose those who you interact with and surround yourself with and hang out with, aka friends, acquaintances, some you call best friends or whatever. Those are choices. But when it comes to family, you don't have that choice. Like, let's say your family is, very different leaning on views that you are. As long as you both can come to a consensus, come to a place where you can agree or agree to disagree, or say, hey, let's not talk about this because we're just going to get into a fight, then we should leave it alone. As long as that happens, that then becomes healthy. Or maybe work around and find a healthy debate, like a healthy medium debate that you can have with family about, certain subjects, right? Must you have them at Thanksgiving, which is coming up? Must you have these debates or these talks at Thanksgiving? Then it's important to set your standards and your boundaries there as well as with friendships, right? So yeah, that's just what's been going on. That's been kind of my internal stuff that's been going on lately. And I can't even remember how many sessions we've done. I think we're on like 5 or 6, which is crazy to think about. I feel like I just started this, but yeah, it's been going really well. I've been feeling a lot more myself lately, kind of like my old self, and that's a beautiful thing, like I know that could be detrimental for some, like feeling like your old self or feeling like, you'll never change can be detrimental to some and you want to change and be better. That's one thing, but I'm talking about when you get so lost in your own mind or you get so lost in your own just messes in life, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own reactions, you can really lose, or you can feel like you lost a lot of yourself, or you feel like you lost a lot of your way. And lately, I feel like I've been coming back slowly to my old self. This is the guy that I know who he is, right? And this is the guy that people can also agree, yeah, this is who he is. We know who he is. And he's a good fella, to quote one of my favorite movies. He's a good fella. He's a good bean. And yeah, I'm feeling more authentic in that way. So, I always preach about at the end of every podcast, at the end of every stream and video that I do, I always preach about being you and being yourself. Well, it's amazing how I tend to not. It's amazing how I tend to not follow my own advice, which is paramount. Well, it's also kind of expected because you hear, therapists. This is sort of a stereotype, but therapists can be the worst patients. Therapists are the worst clients, doctors are the worst patients, and lawyers are the worst plaintiffs, right? So, or worst defendants, rather. And it is kind of true in a sense. Like, I always preach about being yourself and being you, but then I don't go and do that myself. And that's because I'm so caught up in, my own mind mess. And we all have that. Like, we all deal with our own mind messes and our own fields of mind that can really put us out. But, as long as you can maintain your sense of self and you realize that you're unique and there's no one like you, then a lot of it comes together for you. And realizing that changing yourself or trying to change yourself is fruitless, because why would you change yourself for somebody else? If they don't like you or if they don't appreciate you, then what's the point of having them around? That's really the long and short of it. And that's what I'm learning slowly. But, you can still be nice and cordial and you can still be friendly, but you don't have to have them in your life. So that's kind of what's been going on. I did want to give you all a nice little something to talk about as well. This is definitely a more joyful experience that I've been having lately and that I've had. But as you can see by the picture, by the thumbnail, and by the profile picture, what you're seeing right now, we have a brand new logo. Yes, this is the official KittyFoxCast logo, my friends. Oh my gosh, do you see this? Like, it is so beautiful. I love it. It is one of my favorite art pieces that I've ever commissioned ever. I'm going to give a big, lovely, beautiful shout out to a lovely friend of mine, Izzy Scully. She has done so much good work for me in art and thumbnails here and there, and also in Telegram stickers. And we linked up about a year and a half ago. We first met at FWA 2024, and then we got together got to know each other more at this past FWA this year in May. And ever since then, we've been chatting more and, getting to know each other and, kind of getting closer. And, I didn't realize that she had done art like this. This is fantastic. She is so talented. So I cannot sing her praises enough. But I did want to let you all know she does other things other than this kind of art. She has been working on a comic called Feeble and Friends. So I'm going to pop a little couple examples here on the screen so you can have a look for yourself. Yes, this is a big deal, so you might want to check it out. I will link her Telegram art channel in the description, and also link the main page to the comic in the description. So please, by all means, go check that out. Go check out her work. Follow her Instagram. Subscribe to her on YouTube, and check out her work, because she is a fantastic artist and has been a huge support to this channel and my main channel as well. And yeah, she's wonderful. So by all means, go commission her. She's great. Yeah, she's really sweet, really kind. She shows you progress pictures of your art, and she does daily, weekly updates for her comics. So if this is something you're into, if you like webcomics, if you're into anthropomorphic comics, then please go check out her work. She does awesome stuff. So love you, Izzy. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for all that you've done for me so far. And you are just a pillar in this community on this channel and on the main channel. And I could not have done this without you. You have really opened my eyes to a lot of things in the art world. And I'm just really thankful for you. So, yes. Yeah, please, by all means, go check out her work and follow her Telegram art channel. I'll link both of those in the description. So, thank you, Izzy. Love you. What was I going to talk about? I have a little list here. Okay. So, speaking of stuff that we've been updating, thank you all, by the way, for showing such support and love on the FOMO video, the fear of missing out video that I just uploaded this week. It has been doing so well, and I thank you all so much for your likes, your comments, your support, your beautiful kind words, everything that you've been giving to this video, and kind of us having a discussion about fear of missing out and FOMO in general. And I know I talked about it last week, which kind of leaned into the video that went out this past week. So thank you all for your support. But yeah, I want to just talk about real quick FOMO and a little bit more, and kind of my experience with missing WPAFA, which was Western Pennsylvania Furry Weekend, in case any of you forgot. So WPAFA I have been going to for the better part of 3 to 4 years, somewhere in there. And having to miss this year, honestly, really put me in another cognitive tailspin, as it were. And I had to make a decision. That was this past weekend, and I had to make a decision about how I was going to approach it. So I mentioned before that one of the things that I planned on this past weekend was going to see a concert with my dad, right? And we went to see Nate Bargatze, by the way. So I'll link. I might also link him in the description if you want to check out his stuff. Nate Bargatze, funny, fantastic. Dude was on fire that night on Saturday when we went to see him. So if you all haven't checked him out, please do. He's a fantastic comic, and I love his style. He's completely clean. I don't think he even says the word heck. That's how clean he is. And that may sound kind of to some people, oh, that's weird, that's kind of boring. He's not boring. He is he takes the most simple thing, like a jelly bean, and he can make it funny. I don't know how he does it. He can make it funny. He's just one of those guys, right? So anyway, we go to see Nate, and it was fantastic. And before that, we went out to dinner, which is really nice. I haven't had dinner with my dad in a long time. I can't remember the last time I had dinner with him, just the two of us, right? And those are times that you want to cherish, especially as a young adult, and you're kind of grown up and not really, I'm in my 20s, so I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with my parents at this time and day and age. because they're getting older. That's just the fact. My parents are both in their 60s, so I need to be especially adamant about that and be there for them as much as possible because they're aging. That's just how it's going. And so we're having dinner, and I'm in my head a little bit. I'm thinking, you know, I don't feel sad. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like I'm, having like, oh, I gotta go do this thing with my dad. No, it's not like that. I was kind of surprised. I had thought about Wapafa a lot, and I mentioned in the video talking about social media. I've been seeing it on social media a lot over the past weekend, and yeah, it puts you in that mindset of just like, ah, man, I wish I was there. But you know, I decided, and this wasn't like it wasn't like a forceful thing either. I had decided that I was going to enjoy the moment and enjoy the time with my dad. Right? I'm going to enjoy this time with my dad, and I'm going to go full send, as it were, to enjoy this concert and this dinner and just spend time with him because this is about him. It was a late Father's Day gift, so yeah, this is time for him, and this is time for us to be together. And I had a great time. I didn't think about Wapafa once. I didn't think about, oh, I could have been there once. I went fully plugged into the evening, and I had a great time. So I'm just so glad how that turned out. And we had a night of comedy. We had giant burgers for dinner. So I'm really thankful how that turned out. And seeing a lot of positive feedback on the FOMO video really helped too. And in a weird sense, it was a therapy for myself as well with FOMO, and like it helped me kind of get through those emotions. So I really, really honestly have to thank all of you for that and for, giving me that sense of belonging and realizing that I'm not alone in this. So thank you for that. So I'll also link the FOMO video down below if you want to take a look. It's quite good, and a lot of you seem to enjoy it. So I hope that helps somebody out there who's experiencing the same thing. Um, I also have another little story for you. This is kind of interesting. It got me to think about a few things. Last night, by the way, this past week was inventory at my workplace, so I am pretty tired. Like I've been working long hours for inventory. And if any of you work in logistics or a warehouse or anything of that sort, you know how painful inventory is. I don't have to tell you. Everything from the biggest machines to the smallest, tiniest little screws, you have to count them. And I'm talking about, oh gosh, like in the thousands, maybe even 100,000 different parts that are in this flipping warehouse. Like, we counted it all, and there was a crew of probably like 30 people who was doing it. I was one of them. But oh my gosh, man, like 4 whole days of just counting, and my brain is falling out of my ears. That's how much counting I've been doing. That's how much I've been putting on my dad voice because I've been sort of a lead in this. Like, okay, guys, we're going to go do this. We're going to go count that. We're going to do this, and this. Much louder. I'm not going to give you an example of my dad voice, okay? But I put on my warehouse dad voice, and I've been directing people and trying to get them to where they need to go, and sort of being like the solutions guy. Like people come up to me with problems, they need me to look something up, or I need to show them where something is, or how to find something, and it just goes on and on. But anyway, that was this week, and I've been sleeping a lot after I get home. So I get home around 5 or 6, and I hit my couch and I'm asleep for like an hour. So that's actually, I just woke up from a nap right before I recorded this. So, bleh, I'm feeling that. And I need to stream in like half an hour, so I need to get it going, boys. Yeah. Anyway, so that being said, last night I got home fairly later, a lot later than usual, and I was crossing. So where I live, there's a lot of railroad tracks that run through the town, and I go over at least 3 sets of railroad tracks going to and from work. Like it's like ba bum ba bum ba bum 3 times. 3 different sets of railroad tracks, and I don't know what was going on here, but I I look over. I'm at the intersection. I'm about to turn, and I look over, and I see a bike parked kind of off to the side, and it's over by the railroad tracks, right? And I'm looking, and I see a guy, kind of maybe like 10 feet away from the bike, and he's standing at the railroad crossing, right, like where the giant gates are. And I kid you not, dude is just straight up peeing on the railroad tracks. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, this is like the old additive. Like, if you pee on the railroad tracks, you get electrocuted, right? I don't know if he was trying to test that or not, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, he had his back to me, so I didn't see what was going on. But no, the dude was in that, like, he was assuming the position of peeing on the railroad tracks in the middle of the night. Just like broad night light of just, yeah, just let it all out right here, guys. Like, well, let's see if I shoot across the road and, go up like a Roman candle. It did not happen. He did not explode. He didn't get electrocuted, as far as I know. He just kind of stood there and wasn't moving, and no, straight up, just like stream coming out. And I'm like, well, I drove away. I was like, I don't want to see what happens, because the way that he was facing me, the trajectory of him getting electrocuted and maybe shot backwards, he would have shot right into my car, right? I was probably like maybe 15 feet away from him. So, yeah, I didn't want any trouble from that. But no, like, dude just straight up just letting it out right there on the railroad tracks. I was mortified. Maybe that's a strong word. I was just disillusioned. Like, what is happening here, guy? Do you need help? Um, I'm not going to assume anything about him. Like, maybe he was on something, but maybe it's just the simple fact that he wanted to know what would happen. It may cost him, a bunch of money from a hospital bill, but nevertheless, that dude I have to admire for being bold and, like, wondering of the question of, do you really get electrocuted while peeing on the railroad tracks? I don't think it happened. And I'm assuming he just, finished his business and went home. But wow, like, that really put me that put me in a wondrous state of mind yesterday when I got home. So yeah, the things you see in Ohio. That's all I'm gonna say. The things you see in Ohio. That's like another time, real quick. That's like another time I saw. I was going to my parents' house. This was like a year ago, and this is back when one of the major highways was closed down in my area, and I had to take an alternate route to get to my parents' house. So you had to take some back roads, and then you had to get back on the expressway. It was a whole thing. Anyway, so one of these days, I'm driving, and it is pouring rain, and it's not like a gentle drizzle. It's like, like the heavy fat rain that's kind of slow. It's like, yeah, the giant droplets that come down at a nice steady pace. It was pretty heavy, and I'm driving through this suburb, I guess you could call it, and it was kind of a suburb, we'll say. It had some qualities about it, and I'm looking, and I see a dude on a bike, which is not too unusual in the rain. If you're caught in the rain, you need to get home, whatever. But no, this dude had a full-on queen sized, not double, queen sized mattress on his back. And he didn't even have it like strapped like a backpack. No, he was holding it up with his left hand, riding down the sidewalk on a bike in the pouring rain. And he was like holding the mattress on his back, biking down the road in the rain. And as he passed by, I'm just like, what the? And then I'm looking, and his arm is like shaking. Like, his arm is like overstressed, like shaking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how is he going to do this? Like, dude's going to wipe. Well, hey, if he wipes out, if he like falls backwards, then at least he'll have a soft landing, right? Or if he falls sideways, he can just like drop it to his left or his right, and then he can just fall on it. But man, like, a bike in the pouring rain, full on queen size mattress, holding it with his left arm. How? Like, how do you come up with something like this? Like, at least if you have a friend who has a pickup truck and a tarp, that would be a lot easier. But no, it doesn't work that way. So again, the things that you see in Ohio, and I will stick to that. I have no explanation other than he just didn't want to pay for a service or something. So, hey, at least he got a stronger bicep that day. He can. Who needs to lift when you got mattresses and bikes? So he did leg day and he did arm day with one arm. So good for him. Well, let's see. About 30 minutes in. So, this was going to be a bit of a shorter episode just because I got a stream here in a little bit, but I just wanted to give you all a nice little update about what's been going on this week. It's not been a very eventful week, but it's been quite busy. And I wanted to give that lovely plug to Izzy because she really does, and she really does deserve it, and she deserves a lot more recognition because of her work, and she does just fantastic stuff. So I'm really hoping this boost, gets her some more clientele. I'm hoping that it helps with her, wanting to pursue a career in art. So it would mean a lot to me and mean a lot to her if you could just check out her work. It's just, yeah, it really does mean the world to me that she would take the time to draw the new logo and help us kind of do a little rebranding over here. And yeah, it really means a lot that we got to collab on this way. So you'll be seeing a lot more collaborations from us in the future because she is so just sweet and so just amazing to work with, and I would not have it any other way. So yeah, check out those links in the description. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready for a stream. So I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being there once again, and for all the support and everything that you've just given me, and how much it really means to me. Just you have no idea what it means to me. It's just so much. And yeah, I would not, like I said, I wouldn't be here without you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I would not be, the person I am today if it wasn't for you. And I have you to thank for all of it every single day. And I get to do this every day. Not that I have to, but that I get to. And it's such a gift and a blessing and a joy of my life that I get to do this. And I would not have it any other way. And just remember the Latin phrase, Sic Parvis Magna. Remember greatness from small beginnings. Where you started, where you began, and where you're going on your journey. Let's never forget our humble beginnings and that we can find greatness from every step, whether we create it or whether we find it. And never forget the people who brought you up and those who continue to stand by you today. Tell them that you love them. Let them know that they are appreciated. Let the others in your life know that they are appreciated. Tell them now, while you can, that you love them. And also, as I've said before and previously, be you. Be yourself, no matter how hard it may be and how much of a chore we make it ourselves. There is no one else who can be yourself, no one else who can portray you better than you can. And there's never been anyone like you. There will never be anyone like you in the future. And there's no one like you right now, so only you can be that person. Only you can be and do the things that you can, the way that you do them best. So let's be unequivocally, unapologetically, and unwaveringly ourselves, because nobody else has that capability in the entire universe. So until next time, my friends, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for all your support and love. I love you all so much. And I will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Bye. Love you all so much. Meow meow.